The Cure are one of those bands where they just made so much great music that it's truly hard to rank them. So today we're going to rank The Cure. The Cure has released so much great music over the years that there's like 5 or 6 albums that are contending for second place. Not to spoil it. In 1979, The Cure broke out into the scene with their debut album, Three Imaginary Boys, and it's good. This is a Cure album by name only. This sounds more like The Clash than The Cure. It doesn't really have anything that makes The Cure besides Robert Smith's voice. And sometimes he's not even the one singing, like the Jimi Hendrix cover. I want to take you home. I won't do you no harm. The best thing I can say about this song is that it's interesting. There are some good songs on this album, but for the most part, it just sounds like okay post-punk. I love 10:15 on a Saturday night. I think that song's a lot of fun. I love how it was sampled in The Man Next Door by Massive Attack. Fire in Cairo is a lot of fun. I love when he spells out the name of the song. F-I-R-E-I-N-C-I-I-O. And the title track's pretty good too. But besides that, everything else is just good. And I think the biggest crime this album commits is that Boys Don't Cry was released as a single and not part of the album itself. This is a bad Cure album, but a good post-punk album, and it's currently our only album, so it's going in first place. Coming up next, we got 17 Seconds. People like to meme about how Kid A is the greatest left turn in music history. Well, this is probably the second best. The jump in production between these two albums is just astronomical. This album is so gloomy, depressing, and they've fully locked into their goth mode. This album is where they start to introduce synths, and I think it adds a great texture to their sound. It's just so moody and atmospheric, and it really goes a long way. But the thing that really ties this album together is the driving bass lines. There's just so much just oomph in those bass parts that really just tie everything together. My favorite tracks off this album are M, Play for Today, At Night, and of course, A Forest. Probably a top 10 Cure song for me. Mainly just because I love the part where he says again and again over and over again. Just the way he pronounces that, I just think is amazing. Huge step up from their debut album, and is our current number 1 spot. One year after releasing 17 Seconds, The Cure released their third studio album, Faith. These albums really go hand in hand. The Cure really found their form here, and I think this is their most consistent album yet. They're continuing their moody, goth, synth, atmospheric sound, and it just all sounds so good. I think the production on this is amazing. The thing that's really missing on this album is like a lead hit single like Play for Today or A Forest. Overall, I think Faith is a more consistent and better album. I think the highs on 17 Seconds are higher than the highs on Faith. And this is currently my number 2 spot. Up next, we have the Cure album that I don't think I can say on YouTube. Let's call it the P album. Figure it out. I love this album so much. This is the first contender they've released for their best album. Everything on this album is so dark and moody. I love the guitars, the drum machines. The overall production is outstanding on this album. And without a doubt, this is the best album of their early years. I'm just going to gush over some moments in this album that I just love. Those guitar bends in 100 Years. Outstanding. The bass line and those drum grooves in Hanging Gardens. I love the energy of that song overall. And whatever's going on in Cold, I just love. This is probably a top 5 all-time Cure song for me. Those deep strings just sound so rich. And I love the little atmosphere that's going on with the synths. Everything in this song is perfect. I haven't even talked about Robert Smith's voice yet. What a legend. He sounds amazing on this. And of course his lyrics are always great. Definitely our new number 1 album. For the most part, The Cure just keep getting better and better. Can't wait to see where they'll go next. Okay. It's technically a compilation album, but I don't care. After releasing what is probably their darkest album, we get complete tonal whiplash to probably their lightest album. But there is actually some continuation from their like goth sounds. La Mer and Just One Kiss are pretty good continuations. They're B-sides from those albums, but I like them. And this may be controversial, but I actually kind of enjoy this album quite a bit. Whoa! It's not gonna go that high in the list, but I like this album. I think it's a pretty good album. I love The Walk. I think it's a really fun song. That really obnoxious synth makes me want to dance. And no one probably gonna get shit for this, but I love Cats. It's just such a stupid song, and that's it. It's stupid, and I think it's fun. Is it the best song ever written? Fuck no. Japanese Whispers is going to go second to bottom. I think it's better than their debut because it actually sounds like The Cure, but it's not that memorable. Up next, we have The Top. And this is the first time I've listened to it. I've heard nothing but bad things about this album, so I was a little skeptical. And the first song was pretty good. I liked it. It's kind of heavy and dark, and this is where you can really start to hear the like golden era of The Cure really start to break through, where they're mastering their pop songwriting abilities. But it's also like dark and heavy with those like really powerful guitars. I'm not really a big fan of the part where he says shake, shake, shake a bunch. But besides that, a pretty good song. And the next song, Bird Mad Girl, also very good. I thought the song was also great. It reminds me of classic Cure. And I thought maybe the fans are just overreacting because it's not like that great, but it's pretty decent. And then it just kept getting worse and worse. Each song they get more like experimental. And I love experimental music, but this is just bad. The Caterpillar is apparently the biggest hit off this album, and I cannot stand that song. But then towards the end of this album, they're just like making random noises and fucking around, and it doesn't sound good. I was just waiting for this album to be over. The Top, more like the bottom. This is currently our last place album. Man, 2 back-to-back clunkers. I sure hope The Cure can bring it together. They did it. I love Head on the Door so much. If you like really force me to say a favorite Cure song, especially one that's not off Disintegration, it's probably In Between Days. It's just so happy and fun and upbeat, and how can you be miserable when you're listening to this song? It's just so much fun. And then Kyoto Song, the Japanese whatever instrument, I'm stupid. I could look it up, but I'm stupid. I love the main melody, it looks good. That part, phenomenal. It gets stuck in my head all the time. And then The Blood, probably the most slept on Cure song. I love like the flamenco guitar. They never do that ever again, and it's so good. And once again, amazing melody. That's 6 different ways. How can I just keep saying that they write the perfect pop songs over and over again? And then I love Close to Me so much. It's like claustrophobic in a good way. The production's so light and airy, and it just sounds so joyful. I love the little synth plings. And then A Night Like This is like the best chorus they've written. It's just phenomenal. This is currently our number 1 album. I love this album so much. Up next, we have Kiss Me, Kiss Me, Kiss Me, The Cure's first double album. And that's probably my primary complaint with this album, is it feels a little bloated. If you could cut maybe like 4 or 5 songs off this album, this would be a flawless album. I love the opener, The Kiss. It's just them shredding on guitar, which is something they haven't really done before, and it's amazing. It's so atmospheric and heavy. And then Catch. I love Catch. This is another top 5 Cure song for me. I'm saying that a lot. I feel like I might actually have 10 top 5 Cure songs. It's just such a sweet song, and I love it. If Only Tonight We Could Sleep is like the weird ambient stuff they're trying to do off the top, but like actually good. I love this song. I'm saying that phrase a lot. Deftones actually do an amazing cover of it. And then Why Can't I Be You is an absolute belter. It's just so much fun. The synths are a little dated and don't sound that good, but if you look past it, there's a great song there. And then Snake Pit, while being a really good like instrumental song, it goes on too long. And an already bloated album, I feel like you could probably cut this and cut Hey You and a couple towards the end, like Shiver and Shake and Fight. You get a much more condensed and overall better album. And then there's Hot Hot Hot. I love fun dance funky songs, but something about this one kind of rubs me the wrong way, and I don't know what it is. It's a good song, but is it that good? I know I pissed someone off with that comment. And then there's this hidden gem like in the middle of the album called Just Like Heaven or something. I've never actually heard it before, but it was pretty good. Overall, this album's a little bloated, but there's just so many songs that I love on it that I can't really knock it for anything. It's going to be below the P album, but it still is a great album and worth a listen. Robert Smith was about to turn 30 years old, and he was afraid he would never get the chance to create his magnum opus, fearing that musicians lose their spark after they turn 30. So he put all of his effort into their next album, Disintegration, and he did it. This is a magnum opus, not his, just a magnum opus. This is one of the greatest albums of all time. No ifs, ands, or buts. From that first huge wall of sound in Plainsong to the ending accordion in Untitled, this is just a perfect album. And speaking of Plainsong, when those synths come in, that huge wall of sounds, it gives me chills every time. That is probably the single best produced song, at least that I can think of. This album like perfectly combines the atmospheric moody goth music they were making in their early careers with the more pop rock sound that they're doing on their previous couple albums, and it just sounds so good. Pictures of You is such a charming song. It's so bittersweet. I love the lyrics. I love the opening of that song so much. That driving bass line, the guitar counterpoint that's going on, the shimmer effects, everything. And then when the song finally hits, when the beat drops, it's perfect. I love Pictures of You. Another probably top 5 song for me. And then Love Songs, another super sweet song. It was wrote as a wedding present for his wife. Once again, amazing bass line, amazing guitar counterpoint. That inverted A7 chord, that's the Cure's. No one else is allowed to play that chord anymore. Fascination Street has the single best bass groove of all time. This is some funky shit. And those like guitar harmonics they're doing, those weird noises in the intro, it's so amazing. My favorite Cure song is either this or In Between Days. Those are my top 2. And then Lullaby is so creepy. I love the whisper vocals. I love the violin, viola, whatever, string part. The only thing that I can say is bad about this album, and it's not even bad, it's more of a nitpick, is that Same Deep Water as You goes on for just a little too long. I love the song, but 9.5 minutes is kind of pushing it for a song that doesn't really evolve as much after like the 5-minute mark. But besides that, this is a flawless album. What an amazing album. Instantly their number 1 album. Whoa, wait 1 second. We gotta talk about Mixed Up. Mixed Up is a remix album of their previous big songs, and it's fine. I'm not going to put this in the ranking, but I just want to talk about it briefly, because I think the Lullaby mix is amazing. It's somehow able to turn like a creepy song into like a dance groove. It has like that woodblock thing. It sounds like a LCD Sound System song or something, and I don't know, I love this mix. And then Close to Me, they somehow turned it like a dub song. It's not as good, but it's still pretty interesting. And then after that, the remixes just kind of get worse and worse, and then it just kind of sounds like the actual song. There isn't really much remixing going on. Yeah, it's worth hearing some of the songs. Moving on. Now that Robert Smith is over 30 years old, can he still produce the heat? He's still got it. Wish is basically just Kiss Me, Kiss Me, Kiss Me, but like perfected. Open is a lot like the opening to Kiss Me, where it's like a really energetic guitar driven song with some really cool guitar solos and stuff. And then High is in that same group of songs as like Perfect Girl and Catch that I personally love. These are some of my favorite Cure songs. It's just so optimistic and happy, and it's just so much fun. And then immediately after that is Apart, probably one of their most depressing songs. There are basically three types of songs on this album. There's like those guitar driven songs like Same Deep Water as You, Cut, Open, and they have their like upbeat happy pop songs like Friday I'm in Love, High, and Doing the Unstuck. And then they have their depressing songs like Apart, To Wish Impossible Things, and Trust. Honestly, they're each group of songs are amazing. Every song I named is some of my top Cure songs. I love the driving guitars in From the Edge of the Deep Green Sea. I wish they made more music like this. This song's amazing. Friday I'm in Love is like a perfect pop song. I think Doing the Unstuck is a lot of fun. I don't know how fans really think about that song. To Wish Impossible Things is another really sad song but it has such a great melody. It gets stuck in my head all the time. Honestly, I love End. It may be my favorite song of this album. It's almost like an industrial song with how like heavy and like foreboding it is. He's like chanting this mantra of like, please don't love me. And it's just such a heavy song and I love it so much. It has less streams than Wendy Time. I hate Wendy Time. That's the only song on this album I don't like. Come on, guys. I'm not mad. I am mad, actually. That pisses me off. Even though I love Head on the Door, I think this is our new number 2 spot. Now that Robert Smith has proved he can still kick it in his old age of 30, I can't wait to see what he'll do next. Man, come on. The next album The Cure released is Wild Mood Swings, and that's a very fitting title because this album is all over the place. It starts off pretty decent with Want. It's a good continuation of their sound from Wish, but then after that, it's bad. It just sounds like The Top again. There are a couple standout songs here. Strange Attraction, Mint Card, Treasure, and Numb were all pretty good songs. But besides that, this album is just okay at best. It's really forgettable, not that good. The best thing you can compare it to is The Top, and that's not a compliment. Since it does have a couple standout songs, it's going to be on top of The Top at our current second to last position. The next album The Cure released is Bloodflowers, and this is a great continuation from their sound they were doing on Wish. It's just a shame that there was an album in between. If you're going to listen to one album in between Wish and their most recent album, listen to this one. It's honestly really good. My favorite songs off this album are Maybe Someday, 39, The Loudest Sound, and a couple other ones. But overall, this is just a really consistent, good album. There's not really any huge standout songs, but there's a lot of great guitar work. It's really moody. This album is pretty good, but it's not something you need to listen to. I think everything so far, maybe besides like those bad ones, or stuff you should probably listen to. This is just a good continuation of that if you just need more Cure, and it's worth hearing. That's why it's going to go below Faith, but it's still a pretty good album, and I think it's worth hearing. Up next, we have The Cure by The Cure, and I didn't have high hopes for this one because the fans seem to really hate it, but I was pleasantly surprised. I'm a pretty big noise rock fan, and this is basically just what if The Cure tried to make a noise rock album. A lot of the reviews I saw were saying, it's too noisy, but this is like Baby's first noise album. Come on guys, step it up. It's not that bad. But I found this album was really interesting, especially the first half. They kind of lose the noise element on the second half. It's more memorable than Wild Mood Swings. Is it the best album ever? No, there's a handful of songs I wasn't crazy about, but there was a handful of songs I really did love, like Alt End, Anniversary, Lost, and Labyrinth. And I think at least hearing out those songs are worth it. But in the overall ranking, I think this is just below Bloodflowers. Up next, we have 413 Dream. And honestly, I listened to this a week ago and completely forgot it existed. This is the most okay album. There's nothing bad. It's not like Wild Mood Swings are at the top, but it's also not good or noteworthy in any way. It's just the most, it was good. I really don't even remember what this album sounds like, and I listened to it really recently. So the songs I saved off of it were Underneath the Stars, Switch, and The Scream. So I don't know, check those songs out. This album is currently third from the bottom. After 16 years, The Cure have come back in full force with Songs of a Lost World. And man, it was worth the wait. This album is phenomenal. This album sounds right out of the 80s. I don't mean that in like a, this sounds dated, oh, it's bad, but this sounds like peak Cure. This sounds like them at their fullest. And Robert Smith's voice hasn't aged a day. It is crazy that he still sounds exactly the same as he did in the 80s. All the songs on this album are very like bittersweet. A lot of them are about like things ending. This feels like a really final, like the final nail in the coffin. This sounds like the end of The Cure. Apparently, they just announced 2 more albums. So it doesn't. But for until like a couple of days ago, this felt like the perfect place to end The Cure's career because it's a great album. I love the super like compressed, distorted bass sounds on Alone. All the piano work throughout the album is amazing. Robert's voice is phenomenal, like always. That's a given with any Cure album. And then War Song is a really energetic song in the middle of the album that really pump up the volume. And then they close out with End Song, and it's a really nice build up to like what could have been the end of their career, and it's overall a great album, and I highly recommend it. Now, ranking this one is probably the hardest because it's great, but like, is it as great as all their others? I'm going to put this above the P album, but with like an asterisk that like these are kind of tied. I'm not confident about that. That album may move around a little bit. But hey, that was The Cure. If you watch this whole thing, thank you. People don't really tend to watch my music videos, so I appreciate that. I'll be back to talk about a funny movie in a week or two or something. That's it. Bye.